the Americans, even an armed Humvee doesn't really get out of the mud there. So we looked about cyber war and dug very deep to find some picture about the Bundeswehr cyber war where it's taking place. That's Bundeswehr cyber warfare. And couldn't find, I could place our hands on the highly secret command and control system that Bundeswehr has. The problem Bundeswehr has is that no people who grew up now and here now they come to the Bundeswehr, so they adapted the interfaces, and that's what the new interface of the command and control of the Bundeswehr looks like. Yes, to get that's what you get nowadays if you can if you do anything proper. If you get it we don't know if you only get it posthumous or properly. That's we have an Iron Cross nowadays, which has a certain historical connotation. Recently, someone found out that our normal theory was that Afghanistan is also only about opium, but there's also a lot of other resources in Afghanistan. It's about copper. They found lots and lots of copper in Afghanistan, and now so there's a land rush, probably mostly against the Chinese, who also try to find their claims.
And the question is whether the minister gave enough bribes in order not to need it anymore, because there needs to be a certain justice there. And we can learn something from that. There were also lots of, there were an unlikely collision that happened in Afghanistan. A Royal Air Force jet dropped a PSYOPs package with pamphlets to convince the population, the local population, of their own point of view. So it's a sort of, it's a package that was meant to split up and distribute its pamphlets across the areas so that the pamphlets would be distributed, and it collided with a girl and killed her. And of course, these pamphlets say that we're your friends, even though we kill you. This was one of
the nicest trips of the year. Americans wasting billions there. And then the oil fields in the end went to Russia and China. And that too yields an internal photo. Someone's happy there. Okay, last year we had Mr. Schröder, ex-chancellor, accepting a job at Gazprom, the Russian gas company, but then there are similar missions too, also relevant. He didn't seem that relevant in the end and was sent to Iran mission, Schröder, but Joschka Fischer, former foreign minister in the same administration, had a job too. This is about the pipelines. There are two propositions on how to get gas and oil into Europe. There is the Russian and the Balkan variety. Other things that have startled us a bit, worried us a bit. Now we have the nice screenshots. Rumsfeld, we know, has always said the most bizarre things. Also in the presidential briefings, he put in some Bible quotations. One of those is here. Very nice, this red line there, partially black, saying how secret the document is. And here's one with a complete screenshot. There isn't much more in terms of secrecy than this. No foreign, pretty common means no foreigners. And you can't imagine something much worse than that. And then what it contains is Bible verses. The longest top secret string, though, that we've ever seen. Okay, some of the other things that have happened. The Iranians would like to buy an air defense system for obvious reasons, because the Israelites bombed a nuclear facility in Iran in the 80s, which they were going to build. They just flew there, dropped a few bombs and went back. And since then, the countries in that region know they need an air defense system. So the things you can buy on the markets these days, Soviet systems, Russian systems nowadays. This is one of the previous generation, but pretty advanced. And the Iranians, well, they are trying to buy them for about 10 years. They did sign a contract in about 2006, it was published, but nothing's been delivered yet. Did they actually pay? Well, the thing that happens is that the Saudi Arabians on the other side of the Gulf, and who don't like the Iranians that much, they went along and said, well, actually, we need one, and we need one of these too. Well, we'll pay in cash, so...
All right, you just do what you do, and here's the check. And from that point on, the deliveries to Iran were slightly delayed for unknown reasons. So to explain a little bit more for what's going on there, the Russians would like to have Ukraine back in Georgia. So for that reason, they have to keep the Americans busy in order to use the Iran. And when the Russians and the Americans get agreement over Ukraine, then at a certain point they won't sell stuff to Iran anymore. Nevertheless, the nuclear show continues in Iran, and from January on we can expect this to continue. Right now there's some disturbances where the opposition is trying to, well, spread a little bit more democracy or a little bit less restrictive politics. And here's an example for propaganda in Iranian media. It's from a demonstration that was, even for the local media, obviously photoshopped. Apparently there were not enough people there. The best thing was the style, Prada outfit. That's not bad. It's cool. Now, internet in these areas is a little bit different from the rest of the world. In many cases, it's a lot of surveillance present, and, well, at least there is internet. It's remarkable that while there were the disturbances in Iraq, they actually blocked HTTPS, SSL. They really locked it down. So nobody really expected that, because SSL would be the last thing you would block as a protocol. And, well, nevertheless, well, in the Iran, they didn't do that because they had some sanctions there. And on the left side, if you didn't see that, that's in Egypt. There's an internet cafe, which at the same time is a gynecologist and a pediatrician's office. And the right thing is in Gaza with a high security tract. And there was a quite funny coincidence in 2005 where
3 laboratory mice infected with plague escaped, and we thought no, nothing would happen. And then there was a second announcement that the plague killed Al-Qaeda operatives in Algeria. Probably just a coincidence, and there's no link at all between them. But then afterwards, a few more mice went missing. But perhaps we should keep our eyes open. And while we're with such cases, swine flu has affected us all, including in Afghanistan. Swine flu, we have to do something. So the only pig they had in Afghanistan, they put in quarantine. The only pig.
Sieht doch sehr bedrohlich aus.
Looks very threatening.
Man sieht, es hat schon so Angriffshaltung und so, ne?
And as if it's about to attack us at any time. Another of the awards that we like to give out is the Richard Nixon Lame Excuse Award.